We are 3 meters below ground, 22 steps it took us to get down here, to get into the basement of a building of the wealthy of Yerushalayim from 2,000 years ago. 3 meters below ground, 22 steps, 2,000 years back. We're looking here at a bathing installation. Come with me. How did a person cleanse himself or herself? And we're not talking only about physical cleansing, also spiritual cleansing. So first, a person would take a bath. Over there, you can see in the corner at the end, between the doorway, there's a bathtub. Part of the wall of the bathtub is broken open. That's where a person would sit and wash themselves. Then, after the person was dried, they would step out of here, look at the elaborate mosaic floor, all with geometrical designs. And then, just in case, now the person is clean, just in case the person picked up a speck of dirt, they would dip their feet into this stone bucket here, this stone basin here, to the right of the staircase. And the person then, totally without clothes, would go down these stairs into the mikveh and immerse themselves. The Brisa in Baba Kama 82, Ahmed Aleph, tells us that one of the decrees of Ezra the scribe was that people should first cleanse themselves physically and then immerse themselves in a mikveh for spiritual cleansing. Now you look at the mikveh, you can see at the bottom of the mikveh there is this deep reservoir. It's like a pit. How did the water get here in the first place? The water was funneled in from the ceilings, from the roofs of Jerusalem through pipes and ended up in this mikveh here, right? This had to be pure rainwater. But you wanted to change that rainwater once in a while because it gets murky, it gets, dirty. So our sages described to us in the tractate of mikvaot, which deals with the laws of mikveh, described us that there are different ways of purifying a mikveh. Here we can see one way of doing that. You see, a mikveh needs 40 cubits of water, minimum requirement. That's amma, be'amma, berum, shalosh amma. 1 cubit is like, from my elbow to my top of my hand, by 1 cubit by 1 cubit, over 3 cubits. That's the minimum amount of a mikveh. It's about 960 liters of water. That is called 40 cubits of water, 40 sa'ah of water. This basin down here, this pit down here, holds more than that. It holds more than that. That water has to be pure rainwater. The entire mikveh filled up with rain in the winter, through the funnel, through the channels that came from the roof. When they wanted to change the water, they could basically empty out most of this pool here as long as they left the pit down there filled with water, with the original rainwater. And then if you look now forward there to the right, you see there's a beautiful arch there. That beautiful arch leads into another water reservoir, which was also filled with rainwater. From there, they would bucket in fresh water after they emptied out the dirty water from here, leaving behind 40 cubits of the old rainwater, the used rainwater. They would then bucket in fresh water. And that fresh water would mingle with the old water. If it was already clean enough for them, fine. If there was somebody super finicky, and I could imagine that there were maybe people finicky, look at the fancy construction here, look at the foot bath here. If people were super finicky, they could go over that process of emptying out the water in the mikveh over and over again, as long as they would leave 40 cubits of water down on the bottom. That is called zriya, seeding the mikveh, and that's the way all the mikvaos here in Yerushalayim worked, because we don't have springs here except for down in the city of David.